Welcome to this video where we're going to be setting up a second brain using Obsidian, a work OS that works and applies for most people's jobs and most people's careers. It is an agent-friendly OS that is highly readable by Claude or by ChatGPT or by Hermes or whatever system that you are using. It's designed to be beginner-friendly. It's also designed to be scalable so you can make it more complex and more advanced as you go. But with this, it's going to provide you with the building blocks of getting started with a second brain and with this personal AI assistant that we all dream of having. Quick example, I can ask it, what has Jonathan Lull written about? It searches through the vault, it sees the file of Jonathan Lull, and it sees all the content there. What's the current status of this organization? It lists all the information, again, from the vault. What are my current tasks? It's then going to search the vault again, and it's going to list to me the current tasks. I have one task right now, read the README, read the principles of an agent-friendly vault. All of this information comes from the Work OS vault. Right, so let's begin. First things first, I've uploaded a GitHub for you to download, absolutely free. So simply go to this link, I'll put it in the channel video. Description, it's the Work OS. It contains the basic starter pack that you can download and apply, and I'm going to walk you through how to use it in this video. So go on here, you click on this code, you click download zip, and then you open the zip, and you can see it is now this called Work OS main. Right, and this is actually the entire folder and file structure, right? The key thing you should do first is you should download Obsidian. So if you go on obsidian.md, you download the app, you install it. You'll then be faced with an Obsidian screen where you simply open Vault, right? And then you'll select this entire root folder as the vault, right? So you'll select it, so you go in here, you click open, and then it opens up the vault. And you can see it's just simply a view of the folders and files on your computer. If I click on the README, this is going to tell you all of the instructions that I'm going to be talking about in this video. But the thing to know first is the folder structure. So every kind of record that you keep should go in one of these folders, right? And keeping things organized is very useful for an agent, right? So first, if you look at organizations, these are companies, clients, suppliers, partners, departments, or institutions, right? So these are actual files. If you are working with a company or you're working with an organization, whether that's the Acme organization, here you can see as an example, or whether it is a nursery, or whether it is a school, or whether it is a company that you want to track, you create these as organization files and they go into the organization folder. That's the first thing to know. Next thing, you have people. The people in your life that you meet, the people that you want to keep tracked within your second brain, you put them in the people folder. You can see I have two right now. I have Alex Morgan. She works at that company, Acme. I also have a people file for me, Jonathan Lull. Next one, if I go back to the README, I also have projects. So these are timeline specific projects, so longer projects that you might want to keep track. So you can see projects, Acme website launch. And again, it's just a markdown file with project information. Next, I have notes. So notes is a cool kind of folder where you can drop useful documentation or notes and things that generally interest you. So if I go into the notes folder, I've got two notes so far. I've got the principles of an agent-friendly Obsidian Vault, which you can read. It's quite interesting. And I've also got the recommended connections. So these are just some recommended ways of connecting to things like Gmail, Google Drive, etc. Ways that I'm connecting to these other tools. And again, it's just a note for you to have. But you can see the general principle, right? Any notes that you have, whether they are on history or work or documentation, all these kinds of things, put them in the notes folder. Easy. And if they're relevant to an organization, again, within the front matter, this top bit, so the properties, this is called the front matter, you simply link the organization. So you'd link it to Acme if it was to do with Acme. And if it was to do with Jonathan Lull or whoever, you simply link to the relevant person within the people front matter. Next, I have a folder called System, which contains like system configurations for your second brain and your agent, right? So this one, I really only have one file right now, and that is simply a connections.md file. And what this does is it simply documents the ways that you're connecting to other tools. Right, so the next time that your agent then is searching for a way of connecting to Gmail, it simply reads the connections.md file and is, oh, okay, that's how I'm supposed to connect to Gmail. I use this connector. So that's the entire purpose. But system is really for things in the back end for it to use, to remember, and things like that. And then I also have templates. So templates is an important one. And this brings us to the next section because templates is what you'll be using to create records for all of the other folders, right? So if you go into templates next, let's say we want to create a note. I have a note for templates, right? So you'd simply use this. You can either copy and paste this note into the notes folder, but another way of doing it is to actually ask Claude to create the notes or organization files for you, right? So to do this, this now brings up how to use an AI with the OS. So what you do is you open up your AI. So this, I've got Claude Code opened, and then you will simply select this, open the folder of the Work OS that you've downloaded. So I'm going to do that now. And now I'm going to ask, create an organization note for a new organization called Dell Computers. One person works there, a person called Jackie Smith, right? And I have one task, which is to follow up with Jackie Smith, and I should probably do that tomorrow. You see, I've given it multiple commands, right? But what it's going to do is it's going to look at the structure of the vault. It's going to look at the templates. It's then going to create the relevant records using the templates that we created, right? So very powerful. Cool. So you can see it's now created the relevant records, right? So it's created a Dell Computers record, it created a Jackie Smith record, and it created a task under tasks.md. So let's open that, let's check it out. So I'm going to go back into the file and folder search here, and you can see organizations. I've now got Dell Computers here. It's already linked it to Jackie Smith. So here's Jackie, she's also under the people folder. And then also if I look at my tasks, you can see it says follow up with Jackie Smith at Dell Computers. So this is how you can now work with Claude on top of the Work OS. So I'm going to now say, I've completed the follow up with Jackie Smith at Dell Computers. You can check this task off. And you're now interacting with your OS through Claude or through Codex, right? And it's being able to see the structure of the vault. It's able to like do everything like that. So you can see it's checked off tasks.md, moved to completed. If I look at this, that's now under completed, right? So you can see how now you're working with it. And you may have noticed that it's using also an additional skill called the Obsidian Markdown skill. And you don't necessarily need this, but it enhances your AI's ability to read Obsidian, right? So I do recommend you install this. So let's do this together actually. And I've got this in the README of the Vault. So if I show you this first. So how to use the Vault with Claude and ChatGPT. First step, you put GPT or Claude just on top of it. So you select the folder. Second step, you might want to ask Claude or ChatGPT to install Obsidian skills so it can better read the relations between files and work with Obsidian in a native command line interface way. So I'm going to link this here, and you see it's got Capano Obsidian skills, right? And this is basically what you want to install, because within this, it's got certain things like Obsidian Bases, Obsidian CLI, and Obsidian Markdown. And it just teaches Claude how to read these kinds of Markdown files even better. Right, so it's going to like really easily see the relations between all the different notes and everything like that. And the relations and stuff, it's important because if you open up the graph view, you can see that everything's connected, right? So you want to ensure that Claude or GPT always connects different files that are relevant, etc., and can read the connections. So definitely install this. And to install this, it's simple. You go on the link, copy it, and then I'm just going to simply open up Claude. I'll open up a new session and I'll say, install these Obsidian plugin. Here, and you click enter, and then it's just going to walk through. It's going to do it, right? It's just going to do it for you. You're going to follow the instructions that it's going to say, and then you just simply install it. And it's probably already going to say for me that I've already got it installed, but let's see what happens. So you see what it's doing is it's reading the README from GitHub. It's now going to install that and download that. And you can see what it said for mine is that all 5 are already installed, and that's why you could see before it was working like using these skills before. So definitely install this. It's going to enhance the way that you work moving forwards. So let's go back to the README. What's the next step? So we now know how to use the Vault with Claude or GPT. You can ask it to create notes, ask it to create organizations, new people notes. You can log all the different activities that you're doing. You can log tasks, etc. Start adding organizations, start adding people records, start tracking your to-dos, your projects in this. Start connecting other tools to then use within this. So I've got my recommended connections also as a note here, right? So recommended connections. I recommend you use the Slack connector through Claude. I recommend you use the calendar connection through Claude. So if you go into Claude, you open it up, you'll be able to see customize, and then you'll be able to see connectors. I recommend you start connecting all of these things, right? They're useful. They'll be able to then pull in information from Gmail. If you say, hey, read my inbox, pull in the information, update my task list, it's going to do that kind of thing. But I don't want to go too advanced in this video. I just wanted to give you the overall getting started guide. So I'm not going to go into connections yet. But as a start, download the repo, give it a go, follow the README, understand the folder structure, understand the way that the templates work, sit Claude or GPT on top of it, give it a play, right? And for further guidance, I've got some other notes within this. So the principles of an agent-friendly Obsidian Vault, some recommended connections as I mentioned, and also the connection registry that documents all the connections. And if you enjoyed this, feel free to follow. I'm going to be doing more AI tutorials on how to get the most out of your Work OS, the most out of your Claude or ChatGPT subscription, to get it to a level where it understands everything about you, your business, your work, and can really help you and be that kind of agentic personal assistant that we all dream of having. Cool. I'm Jonathan, and I'll see you later.